Hey everyone, welcome back to Power Tips. Today we're talking about Copilot. So the three of us just got back from DynamicsCon Live, and you might have seen our recap video featuring a whole bunch of experts giving their best tips and tricks that they learned at the event. Make sure you go back and check that out if you haven't seen it. But something I learned at the event is that we have a Copilot for customer service and a Copilot in customer service, and they are different and their licensing is different, and I'm still confused. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And Heidi, why don't you kick it off with an overview?
Okay, I'm going to try to answer that question at a very high level. What is the difference between Copilot in customer service and Copilot for customer service? Prepositions are extremely important in the Copilot branding. So Copilot in customer service is AI within Dynamics 365 for customer service. Just when you're already in the system and working within Dynamics. You can ask a question. You've probably seen the AI generated summaries on cases and for all of your conversations. You can write an email with Copilot, auto generate drafts from cases, which is in preview. And that is included if you're using the D365 Customer Service Enterprise license. So I have all of that here on the left. On the right-hand side is kind of the high-level features of Copilot for customer service. So this doesn't have to be Dynamics. This can connect to Dynamics for customer service. It can connect to Salesforce. It also connects to ServiceNow and Zendesk. So this takes us outside of just the Microsoft Dynamics ecosphere and provides AI to all these other services. Like the other one, you can view conversation summaries. You've got AI generated summaries of cases. You can draft emails, but it goes beyond that capability. It has a much deeper integration with Outlook and Teams. This is a separate license. It is $50 per user per month as of right now. I don't know when they change that stuff.
Now,
Go ahead.
now if I have the M365 Copilot, is any of this included? Or what do we need to know?
No, it's not included, but your license price is lower, which is why I did the screenshot here. It is an additional $20 per user per month if you already have that. Great question.
And it's because, my understanding is because the for service, and this is the same in the sales sphere as well, those functions are dependent on behaviors and actions in Teams, Outlook, and so on. So you can have M365 Copilot without Copilot for service or sales, but you can't have Copilot for sales or Copilot for service without M365 Copilot.
That is correct. At the architecture level, I learned this at the event as well. At the architecture level, everything is built on M365 Copilot. The other ones are just kind of added on top of it.
Yeah, interesting.
Cool. All right, so this is not an exclusive list. This is just like high-level features that I thought might help us. But let's let Microsoft tell us. These are short videos. So the first one we're going to watch is kind of their little advertisement for Copilot for customer service.
Introducing Microsoft Copilot for Service. Copilot for Service helps deliver compelling service experiences by modernizing contact centers with generative AI, providing agents with access to the right knowledge across all of your data. Copilot goes to work as soon as your customer reaches out for support. In this case, serving up the right knowledge base articles from your CRM solution, Salesforce, letting you take action right in the apps you use to communicate. With the click of a button, Copilot helps you offer your customers personalized support, drafting tailored replies and scheduling service calls in a matter of minutes. Since you're always in control, you can adjust the tone of the message to match the urgency, pose a meeting time, or even add custom details that Copilot didn't quite get right. On your customer calls, Copilot is at the ready. It works wherever your agent does, including their agent desktop, helping to answer questions in real time by sourcing information from both internal and external sources, like SharePoint and Salesforce, to bring up a concise summary of what you need to know. With all the questions answered, you can leave customers happy and well-informed. After the call, all you have to do is confirm the changes and send the shipment and delivery details for the order. Now, you're free to help the next customer.
So you can see where the M365 Copilot is essential in that all working, right? Mm-hmm. They just showed us SharePoint and PowerPoint and all that great stuff. What do you guys think about that? Any questions or thoughts?
The thing that go ahead, you go first.
I think I'd like to be able to set my tone to passive aggressive. Where is the "I'd already told you this" tone?
Per the
Sorry,
email
go.
below.
Yeah, per the AI response below.
I like it.
Go
The
ahead.
thing that jumps out at me the most is the fact that they're referencing Salesforce. I can't even say it. Salesforce and other tools, right, in their promo videos for Copilot for Service, which I work exclusively on the dynamic side in terms of CRM systems and such, and so I automatically think when I hear Copilot for Service, I think Copilot for D365 customer service, and the fact that their promo video doesn't even mention that is interesting to me. To me that just that highlights the versatility of the tool that they're trying to promote, and I think it's a great thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. I just that catches my eye. I'm like, well, but what about Dynamics 365 customer service, which is interesting. So
yeah, good point.
Yeah, it'd be
Good
really
segue.
interesting to see the side by side. Oh, just mean it would be interesting to see the side by side of in or for service with Dynamics and for service with Salesforce, and just do that comparison. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
That's a good point. Well, the next video is going to give us a tour of Copilot in customer service. So this one is all Dynamics 365.
Yeah.
What if managing complex customer service cases could be as simple as a single click? Transform the agent experience using generative AI with Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer service. With Copilot, your agents can immediately get up to speed with case summaries generated based on case details and the timeline of activities. Say goodbye to tedious searches and time-consuming manual tasks. Using the knowledge sources filtered for your business, Copilot can help your agents craft the perfect response with just a click. They can engage seamlessly across channels, with Copilot-generated conversation summaries saving valuable time reading through transcripts, and by chatting with Copilot that surfaces the latest information from internal documents. Now, managers can gain valuable insights from Copilot analytics, like daily user activity, response generation, and quality ratings, allowing them to understand Copilot's impact to their business. Run your business fast and lean by delivering personalized experiences, empowering your agents, and optimizing operations. Start the generative AI transformation today with Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer service.
Very exciting. Aren't y'all jazzed up? I think this does a pretty good, the comparison here between Copilot for and Copilot in, not in the video, just, watching them back to back.
Yeah, I agree.
Does it make it more clear to you now, Kylie?
I think it makes it more clear, and I think it makes me realize how much more is included in my customer service license than I realized. Because I think there's a lot of those features that you're like, oh, but we can't use that yet because I need something else. But you don't, like any of those AI features that are in the system, we can start using and not worry about. It's just when we start using the ones that are outside of Dynamics and integrating in that we have to worry about those other licenses.
But important to call out, I think, that while they could be available, your admin team may not have turned them on.
Yeah.
So they could be available, just not on. So there could be users out there watching this saying, yeah, but I don't actually see those things, and that's check with your administrator and have a conversation. And I've heard I heard this last week, whatever it was. It wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago, whenever we were at DynamicsCon. One individual in one of the sessions talked about their team, their admin team, IT team, was very reluctant on all of the new AI stuff, and they're treading very cautiously and turning on little bits, and they're very reluctant to turn on some of these features. So that mentality certainly exists, and I don't think that's unique to that single person who raised that. I think that's a maybe not a common thread, but certainly common enough that organizations are like, well, do we really trust this? What's it going to do? And they're really trying to flesh out and test it thoroughly to see what its capabilities are.
Where's my data? Do I have any security
100%.
things or any of those things?
Yeah.
I do
One
think it's
more.
also,
Oh,
oh, I was
finish
just
up.
going to point out, in addition to your admin team turning it on, this is only going to work if you actually have data, right? If you don't have a knowledge base, it's not going to AI suggest how to fix your cases. So you do have to put in the hard work of creating all of the assets that you need in order to power AI.
Yeah.
But soon it will be easier for us to create those assets. So, is that your? Oh, we'll jump ahead. Go ahead.
Are you guys ready? Okay, so we each took one thing that we were excited about in either Copilot in customer service or Copilot for customer service and thought we would just highlight it for the group and talk about it. So the one that I had is something that's in the release wave that I think we discussed, but for Copilot in customer service, so anyone who has that Dynamics for Service Enterprise license, pretty soon Copilot is going to be able to create knowledge base articles for you, which is incredible. So it'll take the case that you just resolved and then ask, would you like to create a knowledge base? And it will create a draft, which then can go through a process that you already have internally. And you can create this as a knowledge article that other agents can use in the future.
Very
I
cool.
love it.
Very cool.
Good segue. Thanks for that, Kylie.
Yeah, that was perfect. You couldn't have teed that up better. So I think I want to preface this. Heidi introduced this section as like things we're excited about. This is about as exciting as folding socks, but I think it's an important thing that we need to understand, right? Quotas and limits. It's part of the documentation. So how many requests can you make? What can we send to Copilot? So this kind of itemizes that a little bit. There's a difference between quotas and limits. Quotas being how often our message is sent to Copilot. So 800 requests per minute. So that's pretty substantial. What I didn't gather though is that per user or tenant-wide, organization-wide. So you think of if it's tenant-wide, or you think of a large service team with hundreds of or even maybe not even hundreds, even just like 80 people, that's still a lot of requests. I feel like that's lots of room, but it's something to be mindful of, especially if you have a large footprint in your organization. And then limits are Power Platform requests. So the standard and team subscription, I'm not clear on that I didn't dig too far into the documentation on that yet, but the standard subscription, 250,000 every 24 hours. My brain goes to, sounds like lots, but what actually designates a Power Platform request, and sometimes a single action could perhaps invoke multiple, so we have to kind of think about that. So I think that sounds like lots and gives us lots of flexibility there, but I'm not entirely sure. The Teams one, 6,000 per 24 hours, and I looked at that thinking that 250 is a lot bigger than 6,000, so I wonder why that one's so low, and I don't know if that's just team-specific integration, or interactions rather. So things to look at, things to be mindful of. If you're thinking about, hey, how are we going to use this? You should probably think about how big is our team? How often are they sending prompts to Copilot and so on? And just as a sidebar, when I hear reading through the documentation, you hear agent Copilot, and this is what comes to mind. This is like the weeds there are your data, and this Copilot is lurking in the background in a helpful way, not in a maybe non-helpful way like this gentleman may or may not
Very
be.
helpful.
Yeah, but I'm sure
You're
he's a good.
questioning your image after.
I'm sure he's a
you
good
showed
dude,
it.
and he's there to help the farmer do farming things or whatever. But that's what comes to mind when I hear agent Copilot.
Nice.
And my quick feature is Copilot Plugins. So this probably goes well with your quotas because as you're planning out what you're going to use Copilot for, you can continue to extend that with Copilot Studio and with plugins. And our plugins are basically just Power Automate connectors that we've connected up with Copilot. And you kind of connect them with a specific Copilot to be able to action them. And actually for customer service, do we extend it with Copilot Studio or we do it within the app? Doesn't matter. So that's a question outside of this. But the idea is we have these plugins, and so you set the title and description, and you could use that to get data from another system. So your team could be chatting in the Copilot and be like, what's the budget for this client? And that could trigger a plugin that goes to your budgeting system and returns certain information. You can also have it take actions in another system, and even then have it confirm, like, are you sure you want to update this value and things like that. So lots of cool functionality there. I think our real takeaway is that we do have the ability to customize all of our copilots and our customer service, our copilot in
Both
customer
in and
service,
for.
in and for. All of them we can customize, some of them in different places, but there's lots of opportunity there to customize this for your business and make it more powerful for you.
And all that said, I think that's a great summary of what we realize on all these applications. There's just so much stuff to know, right? There's so many things to understand, and lean on the documentation, lean on the community for information. I mean, Kylie, you introduced this as something that you heard at DynamicsCon, right? As a thing, and we heard. I remember hearing at DynamicsCon somebody learned the same thing in the realm of sales. I think it was actually in our last Power Tips, the one we did live, which for the record I loved way better than in remote. It was a lot of fun, but I heard somebody do that in the sales, and that was one of their learnings, was there's in sales and for sales, and we at our organization had the same realization over time as we're going through these, and be like, wait a minute, these things aren't available because we don't have that for licensing, but these other things are, and that's what helped us piece that together. So it's just a lot to learn. Just keep up. If you don't keep up with the documentation, you're at a significant disadvantage, because that's one of the best sources for information on what's evolving, what's coming, and how things actually work. So hopefully, I know this is a longer video than normal, but hopefully that's given everybody some context into the difference between in and for in the Copilot schema. And so hopefully this has been useful. Drop us a line below in the comments around what's one of the features that you think is most appetizing or appealing with respect to some of the Copilot offerings, either in or for, or both perhaps. So we'd love to hear from you, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.